Hello dear students. On behalf of Vidyadis Vidya Sangho, we are going to start our third e-learning class in standard 9th chapter 8 motion. Okay. So we are going to start the next topic in the motions chapter, and that will be the physical quantities that will be known as the two types of physical quantity, that will be scalar quantity and vector quantity, in which we are going to see about the one quantity of each of the examples regarding the scalar quantity and the vector quantity in today's topic, and afterwards we are going to see about the speed and the velocity. But before going on there, we are going to see about the what are the studies that we already finished in this chapter. So let us take a brief preview on the chapter that we have already finished. Okay. In first, we have seen that what are the motion, what we called as the motion. So in this universe, we are going to call that what are the movements regarding our body or in any object particular of any other reference point that will be given, and this will be known as the motion. So we can say that easily, if a body or an object is changing its place from one place to another place, okay, from one point to another point, if it's changing its place, then we can say about that it is in a motion state. Okay. So we have also seen the motion. Afterwards we have seen that what is the rest position. So if a body or object is not moving at all, so we can say about that it is in a rest position. We also seen that. Afterwards we have seen the types of motion regarding, we have seen that translatory motion, rotational motion and periodic motion. So in which we have seen that the translatory motion will be conducted on a straight path from one point to another point. Rotational motion, we can say about that it is rotating around the object from one point to another point on a rotating path. In a periodic motion, we have seen the object or the place of the object or the body will travel from one point to another point and then came back to one point. So in the old watches, the pendulum you have seen, it's doing the periodic motion type of the that is given in the information. So afterwards we have seen the linear motion, in which we are studying the different types of uniform motion. In previous lecture we have drawn the diagram regarding the uniform motion. Also we have seen the non-uniform motions diagram, in which we have studied in brief that how can you draw the diagram and how can you understand the uniform motion and how can you understand the non-uniform motion regarding that. Okay, we have seen that. Okay, and in this lecture we are going to see about that also. But now let us take a look on the physical quantities, in which we have seen there are two quantities. Okay, the scalar quantities and the vector quantities. So now what is the scalar quantity and what is the vector quantity? So you can understand that by giving an example. In a previous lecture, the little bit of lecture will get cut. I don't know why this happened, but I have seen the lecture and the last part of the lecture will get cut. So I am going to revise that for you, that a physical quantity that can we understand it, but we cannot touch it or we cannot see it. So these types of quantities generally known as the physical quantities. These types of studies we have to do in the physics. Okay. In the first lecture I have told you about that in the science portion, that we are going to study about the three branches. Okay, and whatever the topics that we already studied in the first lecture. I'm gonna see the subcategories of the physical quantities, that will be the scalar quantity and the vector quantity. Now what is the scalar and what is a vector? The quantity which can only defined by its magnitude. I am writing another time here, scalar quantity. The quantity which can only defined by its magnitude. The word comes in your mind, the magnitude. Magnitude means a number, some numbers. I can only giving you an example by the numbers, and you have understand the quantity. Okay, in previous lecture we have seen that if you are going in a bazaar and if you want to buy some of the apples, then you have to say that only you have to say to the shopkeeper that give me a 2 kilograms of apple to me. Okay, and the shopkeeper will understand that he have to give you a 2 kilograms of apple. So this is based on the numbers. Just you have said the numbers, not you have particularly defined any other quantities or any other reference point to give them some of the mass to you of apple. Okay, it only predefined by the values of the magnitude. So these types of quantity generally known as the scalar quantity. A quantity which can only defined by its magnitude is said to be the scalar quantity. This is the basic definition of scalar quantity. Gonna see about the vector quantity. Now the vector quantity is much more complicated than the scalar quantity because it requires the two necessary conditions in it. Okay, first it needs a magnitude. And also it needs the direction. See, this is the way that and then you can only understand the vector quantity. If I don't satisfy these two conditions, then you cannot define the vector quantity. Scalar quantities examples are, we have already seen the mass. In this we are going to see about the velocity. Okay. In today's topic we are going to see about the velocity. What is the velocity? We are going to see afterwards. We will start the topic. Okay. But what is the basic concept of vector quantity? I am going to explain you that it needs a two necessary condition. First it needs a magnitude and second it needs the direction. Without giving the direction or without giving the magnitude, one of the condition will not satisfy, then I cannot define the vector quantity. So I am giving you the basic definition regarding that. The quantity which can be understood by giving a magnitude and the direction will known as the vector quantity. Okay. Also the example regarding or the reference point regarding that, if I want to travel someplace, then I have to say to you that I am going to travel 50 kilometer in a north. Otherwise half of the student will understand the sir will go in the south, other students are understand that sir will go in the east, other will understand sir will going west. Okay, other student also extra students have also meaning in their mind that sir will go up. Okay, I am not go anywhere. Okay, so if I want to explain you that quantity, if I want to give you a perfect reference point or perfect understanding, then I have to if I want to explain your vector quantity, then whatever I am saying to you that I am traveling to the north direction in a 15 kilometer, then and then only you can understand sir will be talking about the traveling in a north direction, and sir will now reach afterwards 50 kilometers, sir will reach its place. Okay, so the vector quantity needs the both magnitude and direction. So I have given you a 50 kilometer, it will be called as the magnitude, and I have given you the north direction. Without giving the direction, all of you cannot understand where am I going. Okay, for that I have to give you a direction. Okay, so these types of phenomena will be called as the displacement. Okay, in other words, we can say that the vector quantity can be explained by magnitude and direction, both. So here are now the concepts regarding the scalar and the vector quantities that I have written here. If a physical quantity can be completely described by only its magnitude, then what can we say about that? It is a scalar. If you cannot see the picture of here, that one picture is present here. I don't know if you can see the picture or not, but here is the 10 kilogram of weight or the mass is putting here, okay, putted here. So if you don't know that clearly, then I will send you photographs regarding that, but it is not a necessary. Generally you can understand. If you have seen where you go to the bazaar and you have seen the shopkeeper will put some of the weights to measure your whatever the thing you are buying, okay. So these are the weights regarding that, okay. So then it is a scalar. To measure the mass of an object, we only know how much matter is present in the object. Therefore, mass of the object, physical quantity, only requires magnitude to be expressed. Therefore, we say that mass is a scalar quantity. Here I have already explained you that. Now no need to go further in that. Vector quantity, in which you are going to see that one man is pulling a donkey, okay. So it is a force, and for the force to understand, I need a both. I need a magnitude, and what other thing I need? I need a direction to understand the force. Without understanding the direction, if I push or if I pull into the opposite direction, then I cannot measure the force, because it is not a way to understand that. So force is the also quantity that you need to understand by the direction and magnitude both, okay. There are some physical quantities that cannot be completely described only by their magnitude. This physical quantity requires the direction along with the magnitude. For example, if we consider force, then along with the magnitude of the force, we also have to know the direction along which the force is applied. So therefore we can say that magnitude and direction is both necessary to understand this force. This type of physical quantity is called as the vector quantity, and the vector quantities cannot be added or subtracted by a simple arithmetic means. Now what this statement referencing us that we cannot understand or we cannot do the arithmetic additions or subtraction easily. If suppose we are going to see that if the two masses are present, now one mass is 20 kilogram and another mass is 30 kilogram. Now if I have to add it, and what I have to do, that I have to tell you that what is the total mass that I have consist with me, then you can say that these are 50 kilogram. And how can you say that? Because of the 20 and 30 simple addition, okay. Another example that, so this defines us that you can measure or you can do the arithmetic means addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. You can do the arithmetic terms or the arithmetic means easily in the scalar quantity, while what happens in the vector quantities, you cannot do the arithmetic means easily, okay. For example, if I want to give you, suppose you are traveling 20 kilometers in a north direction, afterwards you have traveled the 20 kilometers in the south direction, and afterwards you have traveled the 10 kilometers in the east direction. Now what is the total direction, now what is the total distance that you covered, and now which point or the where point you have reached in which direction. So you have to give me 3 answers of that. And you no need to go into deep inside to that, okay, because for that addition or subtraction you need to understand the vector diagrams or the vector quantities are those who representing the subtraction or the additions regarding these arithmetic terms, okay. And for that understanding, what we are going to do, for that we are going to do the studies in 11-12 science, in which we are going to study about the vector diagrams addition, vector diagram subtraction. Not in this semester or not in this standard we are going to study about that, but it is a very necessary thing that we have to study about that, because whenever we are going in a space, okay, so for that we are going to traveling on a rocket, okay, so in a rocket launcher or in a space space mission, they have all consider or the calculated this vector diagram, and afterwards they are going to send the mission onto the Mars, or they are going to send the mission onto the moon, okay. And so this is the very important study of the vector diagram. Now the first study we are going to study start about the distance and the displacement in this chapter. Now what is the distance and what is the displacement and what is the difference between distance and displacement? Okay, gonna example and gonna explain you very easily. Suppose if I am standing here, okay, and if I travel one point to another point, suppose I am going here after, now I am here, okay, so I have changed my position from A point to B point. The actual path that I have covered, if I measure that path, okay, if I measured that path with some of the measurement, that path will be called as the distance. Okay, another time I am explaining that. Suppose I am standing here, going A point means initial point. This will be called initial point. Initial means starting point. So if initial point will be A, now I am going on a B point, the total path that I have covered from A point to B point, and if I measure the actual length of that path, this will be called as the distance. Going to the understanding of the basic definition that given here, the scientific definition of the distance. Okay, distance is the length of the path or the path length traveled by a body while moving from initial position to a final position. Okay, it means initial position to final position, whatever the changes I have taken, if I measure the actual length of that or actual path of that, that will be called as the distance. So it is basically a scalar quantity. Also I have told you we are going to study about each and individual units. Okay, so for first unit it is come as the whatever for the distance measurement we are going to see about the SI unit, and it can be measured in a meter. Suppose I am standing here, A point, going to the B point, also going to the C point. Now A will be a 10 meter and 12 meter. Sorry, 15 meter. Now suppose if I am asking you that why I have write meter here, okay, so this is the reason. If without drawing it, if I want to explain you that I am traveling somewhere, if I want to explain you that I have covered some path from A point to B point, how can I explain you that? So suppose if I give you an example that I have covered a 15 kilometer of path, how can you understand that I am talking about the distance? See, this is the way. If you understand what am I saying here, then you can understand the quantities, and this quantity is represented by its unit, and the distance SI unit that represent the distance is meter. And this meter will be written as the short m. So wherever you go and wherever in the foreign countries or wherever in the Indian country, wherever in the our city, you can explain the distance without giving a name distance, just only giving the unit meter. Okay, so I have covered a 15 kilometer of path. What have you understand? I am talking about distance. Okay, and how can you understand that? Because from the SI unit, that will be meter. Okay, so this is the way the quantity is represented by its SI unit. SI means what? Standard International Unit, in which we have seen in the first lecture. Okay, so standard international units we have to study, and we have seen the first unit, distance. Okay, now gonna see about the displacement. Displacement is what? Now, what is the actual change of my body? Okay, suppose if I am standing here, I am standing on a A point. Now I am going on a B point. Afterwards I am going to C point. Okay, then I came back to B point. What have I done? So first I am standing on A, afterwards I am going to B, then C, and I am returning back to the B. Now what will be my displacement? Okay, I don't know if the projections reflection come on me, but you no need to see that, you need to see me. What is the actual change that my body have done from point A to point wherever I am standing here? So I have came back to the point B. Now you have to measure the actual power change that my body has done. So change will be done by my body is only A point to B point, nothing else. Okay, I have only changed my body's place from A point to B point. I have not covered the whole path, I am just measuring the change that my body has done. Okay, and that change, if I measure, that change will be known as the displacement. Okay, for example, here I am writing the displacement. If for an example I am standing on the A point, afterwards I am going to B point, and then on a C point. And then what have I done? I came back to B point. Now I am standing here. Okay, so suppose this distance will be 10 meter, this will be 15 meter. Now suppose someone asks you how much displacement have I done in this example. So you can measure that the initial change to final change, because I am standing now on a B point. Okay, and the change that I have done is only a 10 meter, so displacement called as the 10 meter. But for the distance, what is the distance definition? The actual length that I have covered. So for distance you can understand that first I go A to B, it means 10 meter, then B to C, then 15 meters, then total will be 25 meter, and then came back to the B point, then it will be 25 plus 15, that will be gives us the distance is 14 meter. So you can see the drastic change that will be come in the distance and the displacement, because distance gives us the total value that I have traveled, and while displacement gives us the change of the body that I have done from point A to point B. Okay, so it is a basic example. Also, the displacement is an vector quantity because it is represented by the direction. Okay, here I have traveled, but if I want to explain you without giving the name displacement, then what should I have to do? Then I have to explain with like that. I have traveled 10 kilometers in a north direction, then came back 5 kilometers in a south direction. Now you can understand that sir will be talking about the displacement. So I have to explain with the definition, direction. SI unit for displacement is also a meter. Okay, this is the same unit for both of them. Okay, SI unit will be same for distance and displacement both. Going on the last quantities for today, that will be the speed. So generally speed, have you ever heard the word speed? I don't know, have you heard the speed word? Because if you saw, many of the students are traveling the bikes or the traveling with the Activas or places, so they have heard the word speed. So this speed words gives us the distance per times calculation. And what that's supposed to mean, that whenever if you have seen in the speedometer, then you have seen the 30, 40, 50, 60 likes digit on that. And what they are supposed to understand is that if I am traveling on the 30, then this gives us that the 30 kilometer per hour. If I traveling on this speed, 30 kilometer speed, 30 kilometer per hour speed, then it defines us that in 1 hour I can cover the 30 kilometer of distance in that. Okay. Speed is the rate of distance covered by a body. Rate of distance. Rate means in whatever the time it will be consumed. Okay, whatever the time that will be consumed whenever I covered the distance, it will be called as the rate of distance. So, another example that I am giving you, suppose you are traveling in a 50 kilometer per hour speed. So, what happened to that? What happened then? Then, in your mind, the answer will come. Then, in 1 hour, you can cover the 40 kilometer of distance. Okay. Going on a next term, and mathematical representation of speed, that will be distance upon time. Okay, distance per time or distance upon time. Okay. Now I am gonna explain you that, and we are gonna see the SI units of meter. Okay. Now speed can be understood by distance upon time. Now SI unit I have to make. How can I make the SI unit? So what is the SI unit for distance? Here we can see SI unit for distance is meter. So you have to write here a meter. And I have already told you in the first lecture that what is the SI unit for time? The SI unit for time is second. Here put the value. So it gives us the speed's SI unit, that will be meter per second. Okay. So this is the way you can make all the units regarding speed, velocity. We are going to see another extra quantities regarding that in the next topics. So for example, now if I cover the 10 meter of distance in 5 seconds, what will be my speed? Now you can put the values. Speed is equal to 10 upon 5, then it gives us the 2 meter per second. So this is the way 2 meter per second. If you traveling on a 2 meter per second, then you reach your destination in 5 seconds of 10 meters distance. So this is the way you can calculate the speed. Whenever speed has given to you and you have to find the time from this equation, you can find out that. Okay. So in today's homework, I am writing down the homework here. Okay, first you need to explain me question number 1. What is distance? You need to explain me with the SI unit. Then what is displacement? And question number 3, what is speed? You need to explain me the 3 terms regarding that. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for this lecture. If you had any kind of doubt, you can ask me personally on my WhatsApp, or you can ask me by calling me. The number has been already given to you. We'll meet in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye everyone, and take care of yourself.